What's going on, guys? About to check out some Brett Cooper. Apparently, she got something to say about J.K. Rowling. Ain't that the Harry Potter chick? I don't know what she's done since then. But if you're to blame for Ezra Miller, I got words for you. But if you're not, whatever. Thank you for the Harry Potter-ish.
Welcome back to the comments section. I'm Brett Cooper. About a year ago, I feel like we were talking about J.K. Rowling all the time. There was so much in the news with her. She was reacting to Matt Walsh's What is a Woman? She was getting in debates with people. Hogwarts Legacy was coming out. Like, no matter what she does, she makes people screech and cry and throw up. They're triggered. It's awful. And even if she hasn't said anything on a particular day, people still have this response to things that she is simply connected to, like new parts of the Harry Potter franchise. Like when Hogwarts Legacy came out, people literally got canceled and fired for playing the game.
That's crazy. Streamers were losing subscribers for playing the game, right? I would have played it if I cared about it. I just like playing Stardew Valley at this point in time. I got to finish that damn Batman game, and then I'm going to finish a few other games I got now. I got to get back on my gaming flow. I digress. Check me out on my live stream channel, BXB Spoil Live. Make sure you subscribe. I got to get back on that. But yeah, I didn't really care about the whole Hogwarts Legacy. I heard that people were getting canceled for it, though, just for playing the game.
Woman literally got fired for saying that she was excited to play Hogwarts Legacy. We did a whole episode about it. We can link it below. It was a wild, wild story. It just goes to show how insane people are about J.K. Rowling. But most people's anger towards J.K. Rowling is based on what other people have told them. And sadly, her name is now synonymous with being a bigoted transphobe simply because people have regurgitated that for years. However, one teacher online is breaking through all of this noise, and he's going viral for his absolutely masterful dissection of this.
It was perfect. Perfect.
And we need to watch. Before we do, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe.
Using Homelander, as a reference is crazy. Let me lower this so I won't stutter anymore.
To the channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section episode or one of our Friday live streams. So first of all, what I just said about J.K. Rowling being a confirmed bigoted transphobe in the eyes of the mob is an example of elusive truth. And I think that is such an important concept to cover before we dive into the story. And I know what you guys might be thinking, Brett, I did not come to watch your video to go to school, to be, lectured at. Just stick with me for like 2 minutes because I promise it is connected to what we're about to talk about.
You're gonna learn today.
I pulled this definition from the decision.
Yeah, I don't know who an editor is, but they got some good memes. He got some good memes, fam. Did she watch the Kevin Hart special that came from?
Lab, and they wrote, what is the illusory truth effect? The illusory truth effect, also known as the illusion of truth, describes how when we hear the same false information repeated again and again, we often come to believe that it is true. Troublingly, this even happens when people know better. That is, when people initially know that the misinformation is false. Relevant?
Yeah.
Much? Guys, like this is literally how our current media landscape works. We read the same inflammatory headlines from all news sources. We never read deeper into the articles, and suddenly in our brains, those inflammatory headlines are just the truth. Another example.
They'll push it OD hard, right? Sometimes it don't even have to be a headline. You just hear it from somebody, friend of a friend of a friend. That's how rumors get started.
Is how publications will publish literal slander and outright lies, and they will leave it up long enough for people to read the articles, to read and absorb the false information, or until they get caught. And then maybe a year later, after they've been sued, they will quietly put a little correction at the bottom of the article. But no one sees that. They don't publicize that. They don't say, hey, we were wrong. We lied to you. Obviously, they don't do that. So the public doesn't know how often it occurs. They've been lied to. They absorb these lies. The media corrects it.
That's big facts. It happens all the time.
Nobody knows. It happens every single day.
Did I do that?
I mean, it's literally rotting our brains. If you don't want that to happen, you need to make sure that you are giving your brain and your body the proper nutrients every single day. Now, doing this and living a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, her transition game is crazy. What I'm saying, I don't have there's no camera there yet. I'm broke. I'm working on it though. What I'm saying is the way she transitioned into her sponsors and ads is so like effortless. It's crazy, right? She just goes right into it. Smooth. Go and check out her channel, guys, to watch the full video uninterrupted by me.
To this nonsense. Okay. And you guys might have heard the quote, if you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes the truth. But what you might not know is that it is attributed to Joseph Goebbels, who was Hitler's Minister of Propaganda. That was literally his title. Paul Joseph Goebbels was a German philologist and Nazi politician who was the Gauleiter of Berlin, chief propagandist for the Nazi Party, and then Reich Minister of Propaganda from 1933 to 1945. His job was to lie.
Now, I did hear that was a big thing back then. I did hear that. They used to have a lady going around in a like a radio station and truck just constantly feeding propaganda out. Like in the middle of like the war, driving around where the truck would be speaking out on loudspeakers.
Lie to the public to
Well, not
make
speaking
people
out, but
fall in line for Hitler and
playing
grow to hate
the
the Jewish
radio.
people. He was a master manipulator, and it is horrifying what he did and what he was able to make people believe and do. And that makes that quote all the more sinister because he knew what he was doing. They all knew what they were doing, obviously. But that quote, even though it's horrifying considering the context, still stands. And this guy would know because those tactics were effective. And they are still effective today. And a perfect example of this is the lies about J.K. Rowling. For instance, back in January,
don't
Discussing
disagree.
Film, who I often reference on the show when we're talking
I
about
do not
Hollywood and new
disagree.
remakes, whatever, they posted this about the new Harry Potter series. Known transphobe J.K. Rowling is now reported to be an active executive producer on the Harry Potter series where she will be involved in the show's decision-making. Oh, horrifying. People in the comments were so triggered.
Is that true? And if that was true, why is that horrifying? Isn't it her property? Right? Isn't she the creator? Wouldn't you want the original person who made it the huge success to be behind it? Right? That's like if George Lucas signed on to do Star Wars again. People are like, no. No. What you mean? What you mean, huh?
Triggered and upset. No explanation.
No.
Just known transphobe
Get
stated
these
as a
new
fact.
woke people out of
Because in
here.
everybody's minds, that is a fact. No one questions this, but they obviously should. And one teacher is doing just that, and a video of him dissecting these lies and facts about J.K. Rowling is going viral for all the right reasons. Let's watch.
So these guys want to talk
Right
about
reasons.
J.K. Rowling? Is that so? What's going on with that? What do you want to know?
She's had a pretty controversial past. I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts on it? Like,
So
I haven't
let's
heard
be
of that.
specific though. Let's define bigoted opinions. What opinions are bigoted? We're going to treat this as a thought experiment. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong or what way to think. The whole point is to learn how to think, not what to think.
yeah.
So when you say bigot, you're starting with the conclusion that given her bigoted opinions,
So 25 seconds in, and he's already saying, so what
Yeah.
bigoted opinions? And I'm so excited because
I don't think they don't have any answers. I love this. Sometimes you see me in the live streams and someone would say something and I'll ask them a simple question, right? Like this. And a lot of people won't have answers because they just go with whatever's the popular opinion or what everyone else is saying and what's trending. But it's part of the game, right? I'm just so used to thinking outside of that box that it's impossible for me to get back in there, right? So I don't do things like that. So just answering like or asking simple questions that usually lead to people finding out that they don't know, which is okay.
when you ask people those types of questions, like, so what did Trump actually
That's
do
okay.
that makes you so angry?
That's an example.
What did Trump actually say that is so racist, bigoted, homophobic, whatever? They don't know. Well, one of my friends said, well, CNN, well, I read something somewhere for sure. They don't know.
Yup.
They literally cannot tell you. They are just sure that he is a bigoted transphobe. They are just sure that J.K. Rowling is bigoted.
so when you say bigot, you're starting with the
That
conclusion
happens all the
that
time.
given her bigoted
That happens all the time with Fresh and Fit. Right? When I tell people I'm a fan of Fresh and Fit, and they're like, oh, they did that. I'm like, what they do? And they could never tell me anything, especially not accurate. Oh, it leads to, well, Abba and Preach said, get out of it. You literally know. You know. Abba and Preach is the source for most people that don't like Fresh and Fit. And they've been caught in multiple lies and hypocrisies, and no one calls it out.
opinions.
Yeah,
So first,
her,
let's start with: does she have bigoted opinions? When you say bigoted opinions,
She has had a history of being extremely transphobic, I've heard.
I've heard. Where it
I've
comes in.
heard.
At least he's self-aware.
can you give me an example?
If you look at her Twitter, I think you could see a few things. If you want, I could try and find
See if
something.
you can find. See if you can find one.
Already, he has no idea. Maybe I'll find something I've heard.
That's
I think
crazy.
if you look on Twitter,
So you shouldn't be telling people this stuff with concrete, like saying, yes, this happened for sure. If you can't even tell me off the top what happened, you got to go look it up. You're not even sure. So why are you telling people this?
no, you go look on Twitter, find it. And he does.
One of these tweets that she came up with in 2019, she said, dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real.
So you find that bigoted?
Do you find that big? Nothing
I didn't see anything wrong. I thought it was going to be more extreme than that. Because I thought she was going to be in there wilding. I thought she was going to do a full Matt Walsh. But that I didn't see anything being said wrong. And in fact, she said, do whatever you want. All right. Once you started off with do whatever you feel, wear whatever you want, how can you find an issue in that still? She's blatantly saying, I don't care what you do. Right? Just don't try to push me out of my joint and tell me that something I've known to be real is real. Or is it?
And that tweet was bigoted. Literally, she started out the entire tweet by being incredibly inclusive. Do whatever you want. You're an adult. I don't care. But what's happening to women who stand up for other women is wrong. Completely missing the first part.
It was deemed transphobic. I myself.
I do want to state, though, too, I want to make sure that everyone knows this is for educational purposes, as well as I have no hate or disdain for the alphabet community in any way, shape, or form at all, man. Shout outs to you guys. Shout outs to the alphabet. No beef. I want no smoke.
Do you find that transphobic yourself?
Educational
I don't really
purposes.
have an opinion on it, but I'm just going with what.
So if you don't have an opinion on it, why are you telling people like for sure that she's bigoted and she did this and she did that? If you don't even have an opinion on it, you too afraid to look at that and say there was nothing wrong with that. But yet you're not afraid to label this person based off of what someone told you to say.
A lot of other people have said.
That was so important. The self-awareness there. I don't know if it was actually self-awareness or whether it was just like some kind of Freudian
Fair.
slip and he didn't know what he just said. Well, I've heard, I don't really know. People have just told me. You just admitted that what you said at the beginning was a lie. Her known bigoted opinions.
Let's not go with what other people are saying. Let's try and learn how to critically think. So let's analyze the tweet ourselves.
Amazing. I wish that they would have critical thinking class in like junior high school, elementary. We have so many humans out here that this is what the problem is. They can't critically think. They're not emotionally intelligent as well. So when you challenge them and try to help them critically think, they get frustrated. And instead of just answering, they either try to gaslight and paint it as you're going crazy because you're asking questions, or they just act frustrated and start spazzing out, right? And make it seem as if you personally attacked them because they're frustrated. Learn how to critically think. Take your time. Take your breath. If you don't have answers for something, there's a good chance that you just talking out your behind and you need to relax. Just shut up and learn. This is right now, you are in a moment where you need to learn from this man that's talking to you. And maybe he can show you how to get to the actual opinion or thoughts. You don't even know how to think for yourself. Well, I don't want to give an opinion. You shouldn't be talking about this then. What? You so confident to call someone bigoted, but you don't want to give an opinion when you know the statement that you had to go and search for, that you didn't have prior before you already called them what you called them. Now you know that you're afraid to say your opinion, but you were so quick to call them. You need to have that same fear before you start labeling people, because that has an effect. It can affect her business, her family, but you don't care about that. You want to play it so safe that you're afraid to even say your opinion. This is most of like society. Most of people think and act like this. They will go with whatever else everyone else is saying because it's safer. But then once it's revealed that they were wrong, they won't even apologize for it. They'll act like it never happened.
So that statement, do you see anything problematic?
She did try and pin some things on a specific group of people.
Where does she do that? Can you read that?
I didn't hear that.
Force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real.
So when I hear that, I'm interpreting that as meaning if a woman says that, saying that there's a difference between men and female and then being attacked as transphobic, I think that's what she's saying by attacking someone for stating that sex is real.
That is exactly what she's saying.
Is that transphobic?
So how is that? Yeah.
So, to me, no.
Oh, so we
You had to pull teeth to get him to say that. You had to pull teeth. That's crazy. You gotta go hard to get people to say something that's just the truth. What? That's crazy. It's easier to lie and label people and do things that could affect their career, but harder for you to just be honest. That's a lot of people. If you see me act a certain way towards people, you know, right? There's a good chance they did this behind the scenes. There's a lot of times that people could stand up and tell the truth and actually put the word out for Fang Gang, but instead they'll choose to let us sink, right? Because the rest of society wants to label us something because we're not sheep. And how do you expect me to look at those kind of people? For respect?
He went from she is
I respect
bigoted.
honesty.
That's a fact. Let me find one of her bigoted tweets. Here you go. Dunk. Oh, actually, no, I don't find that transphobic at all. We're 2 minutes and 30 seconds in.
So why are
That's
you
all
calling
it
her a
took to
bigot?
think
That's
through
crazy.
what you are reading and what you are thinking, what you are being taught to think.
In that tweet, I can't really see anything that I myself disagree with, but I can see
So, by your definition, are you a bigot?
why some people would think, oh, this is offensive. We can't have that here or something.
And that's fine. That's important. It is
So?
important to be able to look at a piece of content, a piece of literature, something going on in the world and say, I can understand why some people might be upset because of their worldview. Like this mob, they're going to be upset about this. And
I
you can
wouldn't care.
acknowledge that. And then also
I swear I wouldn't care.
look from your own point of view and realize, I actually
That
don't
is what it
think
is.
that's bigoted. I actually don't think that's transphobic. You should be able to dissect content and literature and language from all different sides. That's important.
There's an apology tweet.
What did she? Let's read that. What did she say there? I haven't read that.
I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans.
That is so transphobic. That is just the worst. So true, guys. She really is a bigot. God, she's just the worst.
Same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it is hateful to say so.
You see anything problematic there?
She's apologizing, so
See, and this is why you never bend a knee, bro. Stop. I don't think she should even apologize. She didn't say nothing wrong. In fact, she supported a community. The first few statements was in support, right? Like right now. I got no hate or disdain for the alphabet community. None but love, man. I see you. I got alphabet supporters. I see you. None but love. You see the other alphabet trying to get me up out of here. You better let them know I'm good. You better tell them BX is cool. Yo, telling somebody else that BX is one of the good ones is crazy. I'm feeling like, no, he's one of the good ones. He's not hateful. All right, dang, I'll take it. Just don't destroy me. Don't cancel me, man. I've been canceled too many times. I just got monetized. Yo, when people be talking about how they got demonetized, I'm like, oh, word? That fourth time this week for me. Shit happens. But nah, man, I have no hate or disdain, man. You know what I'm talking about? But I think people should be allowed to have opinions and say things, man. Like, what's wrong with the discussion?
no, not really. If I could read it again.
It sounds like a very similar statement as what she was just saying.
Also, I don't even see that as an apology. It's basically the exact same tweet written in a different way. I respect you. You're an adult. However, that's not changing my opinion. That's not an apology. Does this kid even know what an apology is? I worry
No.
about the young people.
So I guess
You know what that is.
now that we're looking at it like, oh, there's not much difference between me or her. Do you think it's fair that that she's being attacked by a large group of people and people are calling her, like you said at the beginning of this conversation, you said, given the fact that J.K. Rowling is transphobic, how do you feel about Harry Potter? Now, retroactively,
That's crazy.
looking at that statement, do you think that was the best way to phrase?
No, I feel like an idiot now.
It's okay though.
You should, but I'm glad that you admitted it, right? And how you can address it and move on in the proper way and stop labeling people and spreading misinformation. You're helping people spreading misinformation, right? You want to fight against that.
This is why we do this, to learn how to think.
That last point that he made is going back to the question, because if you are framing your question in a way that is biased or not founded on critical thinking, your premise is all screwed up. You're not going to be able to
Poison in the well.
get a thoughtful, intelligent answer because you're already coming at it from a bias, with an illusion of truth. The questions that you ask are just as important as the answers that you are trying to obtain or the truth that you are trying to seek. And I love that he included that at the end because I think that that is something that a lot of people are missing in classrooms. Now, the guy who posted this video on Twitter, he said, the world is crying out for more teachers like this. It gives me hope. I mean, seriously, yes. And I've said this before, but to you amazing teachers who are sticking.
That is true. Just even in conversation. That's why I've tried to make more of an effort not to go as crazy as I used to do during conversation or debate. I used to just have fun. But people would take it as me being aggressive or going too hard on them, and they wouldn't be able to hear my message or what I have to say. So now I try to make more of an effort to convey my points in a more digestible way, especially when I'm speaking to people. Unless you annoying the hell out of me, then it's I'm gonna let the Garfield button go crazy. If you're on my channel, you're a fan, you know who Garfield is, and you don't want to talk to Garfield. Nobody wants to talk to Garfield, but he sure want to talk to you.
It out when everybody is leaving. Like, I genuinely commend you. I know I talk a lot of crap about the education system, but I seriously commend you because having this type of patience and having these types of dialogues with your students, if you're doing that, is so important. It is so crucial. Another person commented and said, an educator actually educating. Truly refreshing to watch. There's a difference between educating.
He was getting mad.
And indoctrinating, teaching students how to think and how to question rather than teaching them what to think. That distinction is so important, but obviously has become very convoluted. And it's kind of sad that this video is something that is worthy of praise and going viral because this should be and once was the norm. I wish that I could watch this and go, oh yeah, just another great teacher. This is what happens in classrooms every day around the world. It does not. Another person said, this is excellent Socratic method, not used enough. I love the Socratic method. That is why I wanted to be an English major from the beginning because I loved this kind of dialogue. Oh, this comment was fantastic. And this all ties back into what we talked about at the beginning with the illusion of truth. This person says, I wonder how old the student is. His ability to read aloud with fluency and meaning and then go on to understand what's been written seems woefully weak. This, I guess, is why students simply repeat what they've been told. It's a fascinating few minutes. All of this is tied together. Our literacy rates are tanking, and many critical thinking skills go out the window when you can't even comprehend what you're reading. If you can't even read the words that are in front of you.
A lot of people, they can't comprehend. I will admit that. Yeah. I've noticed that within society, a lot of people don't know how to comprehend.
Mix that with propaganda and noise on repeat 24/7 from the media and from your teachers who you're supposed to look at as authority figures. No wonder we're here. No wonder this is what our socio-political cultural landscape looks like. I also love this comment, kind of in the same vein. This guy said, I'm reminded of a line from PJ O'Rourke. If you guys don't know who he is an amazing satire writer. He wrote a lot about politics. His books are hysterical. Go look him up. He died a few years ago, but his books have stood the test of time. Incredibly relevant. Go read them. His quote is, if they thought about it for a second, they'd realize how ridiculous that is. It's the fact that they don't think about it for a second that's troubling. Exactly. That's why I said halfway through the video, it took him 2 minutes and 30 seconds to realize what he said was absurd and that he actually agreed with what J.K. Rowling was saying. The regurgitate, never question.
Man. I'm trying to tell him. Better look at what they did to Socrates. Yeah, man. They don't want you to question anything, right? They purposely are putting things in front of you to make you dumb, to make you not question stuff. But why would you want to look into things when you got TikTok? Right? That's why I think the best thing to do is to fill up some of these apps and things that you're on with knowledge, right? When you look on my Instagram feed or on my TikTok feed, it's mostly food, comedy skits, and philosophy, motivational quotes, things of that nature. Pretty soon it's just going to be philosophy and motivational quotes, more than likely. Because I'm getting my comedy from me, right? From editing all damn day, all night, nonstop. Grind is real. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, fam, I think that you got to put knowledge into your brain, bro. You got to put knowledge in it because they are trying to make you stupid. They're trying to make you dumb so you don't question nothing and you just believe whatever mainstream media tells you. Remember the city bike Karen? Everybody was going crazy and saying a bunch of wrong information, right? Fam, I went hard on that because I made one detail, and I wouldn't even say it was necessarily wrong, but it was one detail that I could have got more information on, and I went hard as hell at getting all the information and revealing everything about that. While mainstream media was doing the opposite and spreading false information, harassing this woman, and exposing her to her neighbors to be even further harassed. I hope she sued the hell out of them. But yeah, people are more concerned with a bunch of bullcrap and lack the comprehension to do research and maybe even get more information or admit when you're wrong and make the further correction. right? But that's just my opinion. Tell me what yours is down in the comment section. Hit the like button, share the video as well, man. If you want to watch me live, check me out on BXBeastBoy Live. That's my YouTube channel, as well as you can follow me on my Twitch and all my other stuff. Check the links in the description. Watch more videos.